about job opportunities for the newly arrived immigrants? How much money has been poured into English as a second language? What do we do for the immigrant community? Do we look for housing? Do we look at how your children are educated? Do we look at the job opportunities for you where you must be trained? That's what I have brought into this district. It's not the money, it's the fact of how do you do it, where do you bring it, and is it real? That's what you have to look at. What's real? And one is a lot of verbiage. Let's talk about the schools, transportation. Somebody said, what, you don't do anything for the handicapped? And asked, what did I do? Well, the fact of the matter is, for the handicapped, you do it, I'm bringing it up again because it's an important thing to think about, is that we do it citywide and ultimately comes into this area. The post office doesn't have a handicap accessible. It's been a long time in getting the federal government to look at how to do it. They know how to do it. It's a question of the site and everything else, which gets very complicated. We have handicap accessible. There are these cars that ride around this community. You may not see them, but I see them. Take a look, 74th Street, 37th Avenue. 2 years of the time so that there would not be one dumpster on 37th Avenue. Not one. You can go from 70th Street up to where my district ends. Why? Because they were horrible. They were filthy, they were smelly, and they were unhealthy. You won't see that because it took huge negotiations with the Commissioner of Sanitation. And when we had it, they themselves said they wanted to have a press conference. It helped the merchants, it helped the community. It helps our housing. Somebody said, why? And this is important, although it happened a long time ago. Somebody said, but you didn't vote for the lead bill. And I said, well, first let's just rationalize that anybody would be foolish if they thought I was against the lead bill. The fact is, it was a bad bill. It was bad for the co-ops. Maybe people don't really know what that bill was about. Terrible for the co-ops. It was terrible for buildings that were left abandoned and they weren't taken over. If you found lead in one unit in a co-op, you had to do that entire line. You had to look at the community rooms. How were they defined? That's important to each and every one. I know who lives in co-ops, who has their own homes, and who lives in high-rise. That's very key. That is what you do to make life better for the district. I could go on, and I could go on, and I could go on. And I was late tonight, not because I chose to be the last one, because I happened to come from City Hall, from a stated meeting, and late budget negotiations, because we must pass a budget by June 30th, hopefully before. I bring up something else. The mayor gets appointments to committees. We had one appointment to the youth board, and I was very pleased to nominate Sybil Silverstein. I had all my colleagues to accept that nomination from this club and from this community. They had other nominations, but it is an art to work with your colleagues. It's an art to work with all the different factions in the district. And as a result, we happen to have a lot represented. We have chairs from this committee. And also, what about our CEOs, community-based organizations? What about the initiatives for AIDS? AIDS affects us. AIDS is throughout the district. What are the health initiatives to do that? You have to work at doing it. We've done that. What about having to do with the kids that need special needs, and it's very difficult for them to get it? We do that. What about the waste paper baskets? If you want to know what's done for a community, just visualize each and every one of you. Shut your eyes and think of 37th Avenue on a Sunday with no pickup. That That is a supplemental pickup. And it took fighting and negotiating to get that done. And you see 7 days a week, we have supplemental pickup. But that last one could get dropped off like that. And it has to happen when it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I won't leave my seat until I get what I want. And that is what my mission was when I got in office. It's what my mission still is, and is my mission to continue as your representative in the next 4 years. It's to bring government to the people. It's to make government more visible. It's to make it easier. And that is what we've done. Can we do more? Believe we can do more. Does government make mistakes? Yes, it does. But we have the ability to correct those mistakes. Do we have a balanced government? Some think that the government that Mayor rules all, 28 vetoes show you, and he didn't like them, 28 vetoes that we didn't agree with him and overturned them. So with that, I'm going to say I've enjoyed your support. The job has been wonderful. I believe that I have represented you well. Can I do more? Yes, I can. Do I need the time to do that? Yes, I can. And there's one other important link. That all 3 levels of government must work together. You can't have one independent of the other. So when you cut off the local level, where they're not working with Congress and they're not working with Albany, how many resolutions have we sent to Congressman Crowley, our congressman here, because he couldn't get something out of committee, and his own words were, I had no idea how effective those resolutions could be. We send them up to Albany. This city had the first human trafficking hearing anywhere. And believe me, human trafficking is right in the 25th district. We're not removed from it. And the first time, with the initiative that I moved on, the DAs finally put human trafficking in the place where it belongs. Human trafficking and not in vice. And that took some time to do that. So I just would like you all to think of the things that are being done in a local with. And I ask your support. I ask the support of the club because there is more to do. And I do believe that we can accomplish more in the right way. One doesn't make something happen single-handed. Those days just don't exist anymore. You have to work with your colleagues. You have to work with the other levels of government. And you must work in all of the different representations in the district.